as more and more Mexican migrants were now being rounded up. They are being rounded up and then they are being deported back to Mexico. And this got expanded into something even more sinister as you had Mexican Americans. Yes, that's right. Americans with Mexican descent were sent to Mexico. You had people that were deported and sent deep into Mexico, despite them actually being American citizens, despite them being born in this country. It turns out when they were rounding up all these, what they thought were Mexican nationals, they were actually rounding up people with Hispanic names. And many of these people were Mexican Americans. American citizens were being sent away, deported without due process, their rights clearly violated, and this was accepted by both the Hoover and Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration. So this was very problematic, as people were rounded up in mass numbers, told to just get on a train, get sent back to deep into Mexico, and then they were not to return back. It is probably a certainty that many of these officials knew that they were rounding up Mexican Americans. They just didn't care, because the point was to make sure that real Americans got these jobs working the farms. So you had about 60% of Mexican Americans that were the ones being deported back to Mexico during this Repatriation Act. And so it turns out you have the numbers still vary. It had a minimum of 500,000 people that were part of this Repatriation Act, but other estimates have it closer to over 1 million. And the majority of those people that were part of this Repatriation Act were actually Mexican Americans.